Dando sequência à nossa programação, convido ao palco agora o senhor Clinton Sparks, Owner and Chief Business Development Officer of XSET, que nos trará a palestra Conectando a Cultura, o Caminho Certo. Clinton, the stage is yours. Oh, he's taking pictures outside. Just a second. Yes, Clinton, come on, please. Uma salva de palmas, por favor. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Clinton? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Carla. The stage is yours.
Do I use this?
Or this one?
Oh, yeah, walk. Hello. Hello, everybody. You guys all having a good time so far? Show of hands, you guys happy to be here at Sigma? This is the big guy right here, just if you guys want to bother him. He's in charge of this whole thing. All right, so my name is Clinton Sparks, and I came here to talk to you guys about connecting your company to culture the right way. And what do I mean by that? So there's a lot of companies that are looking to build their audience, right? A lot of companies that are looking to connect with culture, to separating from other companies. There's a lot of the same companies that do the same things, right? But what separates them is their understanding of how to build a right audience, how to market themselves, how to be a differentiator in the industry, and how to do things different and relate to an audience different than somebody else's. So I'm here to talk to you about how do you do that? How do you build an authentic audience with your company? Well, the problem is with most companies, they all think they have an amazing product, right? Everybody thinks what they're doing is amazing. So they assume because it's so great to them that people are going to automatically think it's great too because they built something that they believe is great, right? But there's everybody thinks what they're building is great. But what makes you greater than somebody else's what they're doing? It's understanding your audience. A lot of times companies build and one thing you need to understand is you're not selling a product, you're not selling a service. If you really want to build an authentic audience that really can connect with you, you have to start by understanding you're not selling a product, you are not selling a service. You're selling one thing. Does anybody know what that one thing is you're selling? Anybody? Almost. You're selling a feeling. Once you're able to understand the feeling that somebody needs to fill, that somebody needs to feel, you can sell anything to anybody if you understand what they need to feel. So when you're a company who thinks you have a great product, who thinks you have a great service, that's trying to build your audience, and it's key to remember your audience, because everybody else is fighting for the same audience, right? You have to find your audience. What makes you different from somebody else? Why are they going to come to you over another company? It's because you're finding your authentic audience. When everyone's fighting for the same audience, it's difficult to steal audience from somebody else, because we all know when somebody has a favorite streaming service, when someone has a favorite, food, restaurant, it's hard to pull them to go somewhere else, right? So you have to offer something that's completely different or unique or that taps into a feeling that they need to feel, right? So it's very important for you guys to understand when you're building a company that that's the most important thing to do is, one, find and build your own audience. You don't have to chase somebody else's audience. There's so many more people in the world than the ones that you're just going after. And if you're able to figure out a feeling that people need to feel, then you're able to find the audience that's not the already endemic audience that everybody else is already chasing, because you're delivering a feeling that's different than what somebody else is delivering. That makes sense? So this guy with the experience. So, one of the mistakes that a lot of companies make is they keep trying to, let's just be better than those guys. They're worrying about what everybody else is doing instead of just creating and developing their own unique experience or a feeling that they can provide that nobody else is doing. Like, let's just use some of the examples of companies that are here. There's a bunch of iGaming companies, right? A lot of companies that have online casinos and gaming and stuff. What makes one casino or a iGaming company different than another one? It's the experience, but it's also the feeling. If somebody's already wants to use this company, what are you going to do to drive them to bring them over to this company? Create a different feeling or a unique differentiating feeling that somebody else cannot create, right? And a lot of times when people put their marketing play together or they're thinking about how do we do the thing that I'm saying right now, they're always thinking, well, how do we think outside of the box, right? How do you think outside of the box? People are worried about thinking outside of the box before they mastered inside the box, right? So pay attention to that. A lot of people are trying to think outside of the box before they even understand and fully really own and dominate inside the box. What does that mean? Understanding what your brand is, understanding what your company provides, understanding the feeling that it delivers, understanding a unique audience that you can find and deliver something different that nobody else can deliver. So once you do that and you understand how to do that, that's inside the box. Outside the box is the marketing. It's the strategies. It's the how do we do the things that I just talked about. That's thinking outside the box. But you can't do that until you already owned inside the box. And owning inside the box is already creating something that nobody else can or has created. We can all create. Now, one of the things that if you guys don't know who I am, I've built 2 big gaming companies, one called FaZe Clan that went to $1 billion IPO, and then I built another company called XSET that's currently at a $65 million valuation. The reason I was able to do that when there's a whole bunch of gaming companies out here, a whole bunch of esports organizations, is because I understand the feeling that people are trying to get. I understand the audience that I'm trying to go after, and it's not the same audience that everybody else is going after. And the reason I'm able to go after other audiences is because I understand culture. I understand the feeling that people want to feel. I understand, and the only reason I understand is because I care enough to understand. Most people go into their business of how do we make more money? How do we get more depositors? How do we get more money to buy clothing from us? How do we buy? And that's all everybody's trying to do. Sell, 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 sell. But if you focus on building, connecting, relating, nurturing, caring, the money will come if you start with those things first, because an audience wants to know that you give a shit about them before they're going to give you their hard-earned money, before they're going to dedicate themselves to you, before they have an allegiance to you. They want to know that you actually give a shit about them. And if you're just selling, that's not caring about somebody. It's, and especially this generation, we can smell and we know when you're just trying to take from us, or when you're not being real to us, or when you're just trying to get money from us. In the younger generation, they all know that. So if you're trying to get a new audience, a younger generation, you have to understand what makes them tick, what they care about. And it's not just like, oh, we got the greatest games. Cool. To you, you have the greatest games. There's a million games out there. Oh, we have the greatest product. All right, well, to you, there could be everybody else thinks they got the greatest product too. The greatest thing you can have is an understanding of people and psychology and what they need to feel. And it starts by understanding culture. You can't stand for culture if you never stood in culture. You can't stand for culture if you never stood in culture. So there's a lot of companies that we got to connect to the youth. We got to get more of an audience. We got to connect to culture after they build whatever it is they think that they have an awesome thing they built. But you need to have these things in mind while you're building the thing that you're building. Because if you go and build something and say, oh, we've got the greatest, name the company. According to you, it's the greatest, right? Now let's go try to buy an audience. Buying an audience is so much different than building an audience or having an audience that grew with you and wants to see you win and help you win because they know you care about them. And you started with them from the bottom because you had them in mind from the creation and the inception of your company. Is everything I'm saying making sense to you guys? How many people own companies in here or, are the CMO of a company or, yeah? Right? So I'm here to talk to you guys about how to authentically connect with an audience that's your audience and how to do it the right way so that they stick with you and they have loyalty and they have allegiance to you and your company. And that is by understanding culture. That is the number one way I've built all of my companies. I've been a part of 7 startups. And every company that I've been a part of, the reason I've been able to build them is having a true understanding of the audience that I'm trying to find. I have a true understanding of culture, and what does culture mean? It means something different to everybody else. Culture could be to, online casinos, it's the culture of gamblers. What does that culture mean, right? But when you come to places like this or any other kind of conference where we're doing things like this, you're kind of mostly in echo chambers of a bunch of people that understand already this world. They understand the business of what we're all doing here, and we're all talking to each other, educating each other more on the business of what everybody's doing here. But what a lot of people don't do or don't understand is how do you go find new audiences that have no experience with this, that have never been exposed to things like this. With gaming, for instance, when I was building my companies, of course it's easy to find and target gamers. One, they're already interested. They already care. They already are kind of indoctrinated to understanding the concept and the construct of gaming and gaming organizations and games and how to sell to them and products that get sold to gamers. So that's the easy part. What the hard part is, for most, is going and finding and educating and introducing gaming to a whole world that never gamed or doesn't consider themselves gamers, which is a far bigger world than the world that you're already talking to. So when everyone keeps talking to the same audience or trying to steal or chase or pull over an audience from somebody else, oh, why are you using them? Come use us, we're better. Okay, but why? Why are you better, right? So now you have that argument. If you just say, forget it, I'm not even going to go after the people that I know, for instance, are gamblers, which we all know what a profile is. We all done research, and there's data and metrics that show the profile of a traditional, typical person that gambles online. Great, we know that. That's easy. We know how to run ads. We know how to target market. We know how to do all those things. But when you're able to then say, forget it, I'm not even going to think about those people. I'm going to go after a whole new audience that doesn't even know that this world exists, has never been introduced to this world, has never been invited to this world. And that's the most important thing. Feeling like you got an invite to this world can change the game. And what does that mean, an invite? Again, that goes back to understanding what they need to feel, what they do feel, what they care about, what they want to be a part of, and knowing that you actually care about them. I'll give a quick story. I met this guy, so I was DJing in Las Vegas, and there was this big whale behind me, had all the bottles and all the girls, and everybody was behind me, and he comes up to me and he says, hey, can you play a song for me? Which, by the way, I don't take requests. I'm a DJ. But he goes, can you play this song for me? And I was like, here's this guy who's going to think I'm going to play a song because he's spending all this money. But he says, can you play this for me so I can film it for my son? And I was like, dude, keep your money. Of course. You're thinking about your son when you're in a club? That's a good dude. So I play it to him. So anyways, he invites me to Miami. I go to Miami that week, and it's this big mansion, and he's got like one of 4 Porsches in the world. And he goes, take it for a spin. I was like, I'm not driving that car. And he goes, no, just take it. I go, dude, I'm not going to drive it. I go, I'll tell you what, if you ride with me, I'll drive that car. So we're in Miami, and we're driving down Collins. Now, Collins is just ram-packed. You can only drive like 1 mile an hour down that street. So we're driving down the street, and there's some bunch of people noticed me, and then there was more people that were like, yo, nice car. Yo, I love that car. And I said to him, now this guy just bought up all the racing circuits to put them together to go against NASCAR. This guy's a whale. Like, he had $80 million in cattle, right? So he bought all the racing circuits, and he wanted to make one racing circuit to go against NASCAR. So as we're driving down the street, I said, what do you notice? And he goes, all the black guys love this car. And I said, okay, do you watch rap videos? He goes, yes. I go, there's always nice cars in rap videos. I go, Exhibit had a show called Pimp My Ride. Funkmaster Flex has car shows. I go, this community, this culture, this audience loves cars. So if you're going to create a racing circuit against NASCAR, guess what? When you think of NASCAR, what do you think? You think of white rednecks, right? You think of hillbillies. That's what you think about. You don't think of hip-hop when you think of NASCAR. You don't think of none of that stuff. So I was like, when you start your car circuit, you need to invite this culture that's never been invited to car racing before, because they love cars, but they all look at it like it's a white thing. You need to invite them to the party. So it's the same thing with, you got to tap into other audiences that you don't typically would tap into or have not been invited to the party. And it's an easy thing to do. It starts with just caring. If you just care about other people and you care about their needs, or introducing them to something, or giving them a new experience, or helping them fulfill a feeling that they don't even know they're trying to feel, then you change the game. Your company just introduced people to something they never even knew existed. And now they're winning and you're winning. And guess what? You've built your audience that's not somebody else's audience that's going to leave you now because, oh, they're giving 10% more kickback, or they have a different discount over here than you give, or there's a bonus over here that you guys don't have. So they're just jumping back and forth because they don't care who they're using. They just want to get the best odds in their favor. But people that'll stick with you for life are the people that know you care about them, because you cared about them from the beginning. And when you understand culture and you incorporate and integrate culture into the very DNA of your business from the ground up, then you're going to dominate and win more. Every single company I start, I dominate. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying it because I understand the formula that works. Win, repeat, win, repeat, win, repeat. It's not my formula. It's just the formula that most people don't take the time to listen to. And then before I get out of here, if there's anybody in here that runs departments or runs the company, another problem that happens in a lot of companies is you don't listen to the people with the great ideas in your company, because you are the almighty person that built this company, or you've had success in the past, so you know what you're doing when it comes to building this company. But what you might not know, and you don't even know that you don't know, is you don't understand culture, and you don't understand the feeling that people need to feel. What you understand is how to make the investors happy, how to make it look like you're making more money. But the money will come. Every business that I've built, the money is made millions and millions of dollars, every company, because I've always went in with the same mentality. Actually give a shit about the people that I'm trying to do business with. And everything starts with that, guys. And once you do that, that's your big differentiator. And then once you're able to deliver a feeling, the feeling that people need to feel, then you're going to win every time. Before I go, I'm going to say it one more time. You are not selling a product. You are not selling a service. The only thing that you are selling, that if you want to make your company be wildly successful and you want to build your own original audience, the only thing that you are selling, it's not a product, it is not a feeling, it is not a service. You are selling a feeling. So go make people feel good, guys, and you're going to feel good in turn, because your bank account's going to go up. My name's Clinton Sparks. Thank you, everybody.